Welcome to a new sister series to Lore Guide we are calling the Mundus Fractura Bestiary series. In this episode 0, we will be laying the foundation for future episodes by looking firstly at the creature classifications of the world. What do I mean by creature types? On Earth, there are several broad groups of which all known animal life can be assigned to. Classically, these are invertebrates, fish, amphibians, reptiles, birds, and mammals. On Mundus, in addition to the types found on Earth, there are the following additional animal types: gelatinoids, fungi, plants, aberrants, mechanoids, odaudia, frumephni, and extraplanar. For the purposes of this overview, we will focus primarily on the groupings that exist only on Mundus Fractura. I will, however, clarify a few key points about the Earth equivalent types. Though on Mundus there may be what seem to be fantastical versions of a creature type, they are still considered to be a creature of that type. For example, an eagle the size of a commercial passenger jet exists on Mundus, but it is still a bird. Dragons, kobold, and drekar exist on Mundus, but they are really nothing more than reptiles, and share all the basic traits of what would be considered to be those of reptiles on Earth. Orcs, kin-taurus, and goblins are just simply mammals. Of the non-Earth-like types, first up, we have fungi and plants. Though these first two do exist on Earth, on Mundus they are different enough that it must be explained. Fungi and plants are typically not considered animal life on Earth, but on Mundus they most certainly are, though there are also fungi and plants that fall under the flora descriptor. Any plant or fungus life on Mundus that shows a quantifiable intelligence and is freely mobile is considered to be a form of animal. Admittedly, there is much scholarly debate, as many of these life forms straddle the line between flora and fauna. But a good guideline to follow in the field is, if it is talking to you or running after you, attempting to end your existence, then it is an animal. Next, we have the gelatinoids. Gelatinoids seem to be an evolutionary offshoot and distant cousin to the phylum Cnidaria, the line of life forms which include jellyfish here on Earth. The gelatinoids on Mundus include puddings, slimes, jubilee, and the gelatinous cubes. Gelatinoids are all semi-solid creatures having neither an endo or exoskeleton. The aberrants are a group of truly fantastical life forms. They are most often the stuff of nightmares, what one would consider a monster in a classic sense. They frequently have a grotesque or deformed body assemblage and cannot be easily defined by their anatomical makeup. They often have strange or fantastical abilities which vary wildly from species to species and even from creature to creature in the same species. They have no set form of procreation or replication. If you come across a creature in the wilds of Mundus that you just cannot seem to describe or defies logic, it is likely an aberrant. Mechanoids are constructed beings. They can be composed of and made from organic or inorganic materials. They can be made by others or even self-replicating. Golems in all their incarnations, robots, androids, sentient vacuum cleaners, and talking toasters are all examples of mechanoids. Odaudia are the undead of Mundus. Though it might be argued, and is by some scholars, that Odaudia are still whichever species they were in life, this is not so. They are as different from what they were in life as a reptile is to a mammal. Odaudia come in two major variants: corporeal, those with a physical body such as zombies or ghouls, and the incorporeal, such as ghosts and spirits. All Odaudia share a few key traits. They do not bleed or breathe, and all have strong negative reactions to divine magic. Next, we have the first of two creature types that are considered non-natives to Mundus Fractura, the Frumefni, or otherwise known as elementals. These are spirits from the elemental planes which have somehow found their way to Mundus Fractura and are now trapped on, in, or in orbit around the planet. On arrival, a trapped Frumefni will seek out the element that matches its home plane and form a body from it. It should be noted Frumefni can never truly be killed on Mundus, only temporarily disembodied. Finally, we have the extraplanar. This is the second of the non-native creature types. These are creatures that have, either by chance or by choice, come to live on Mundus from another plane of existence. This would seem, at first glance, to be the same as the Frumefni. However, extraplanar, unlike the Frumefni, are not elemental spirits. They are typically celestial or infernal creatures like angels, devils, gossamer cattle, hinterhoons, or belchflies, that instead of existing in their home realm, now exists on Mundus. Extraplanar typically have a secondary classification like mammal or fungi. For example, an infernal dragon from one of the hells would be an extraplanar reptile. There we have it, a brief overview of the creature types of Mundus Fractura. And with that, so ends our introduction to the Mundus Fractura Bestiary series. That is all for this time. I hope you have enjoyed this episode. Stay tuned for future entries into the Bestiary of Mundus Fractura, and thank you for listening. Goodbye for now.